Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, I do several videos, many videos really, where I sort of begin by saying, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. This is one of them. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. But I really wish it wasn't. When you start releasing often dangerous criminals early, putting them back into society without monitoring them, you know things are going to happen. And I've said this time and time again. And I've said time and time again that people will get hurt or killed. A convicted criminal who was let out of prison early under Labour's early release scheme has been charged with murder. The man was allegedly charged over an incident in London following within days of his early release for knife offences. Ministry of Justice figures were published on Thursday. And we did the video on that nearly 40,000 people had been let out early. This includes 348 criminals who were jailed for more than 14 years and 1,403 who were jailed for more than 10 years. They are amongst 6,200 sentenced to more than 4 years behind bars but let out early. You don't get more than 4 years for minor offences. And the early release scheme itself, it's been revealed, has now been officially linked to historically high levels of recalls after these dangerous offenders breached the release conditions. And now, of course, one of them has committed murder after his release, so he's going to go back in. But you wonder how long for? How long before he is re-released? Rather than, releasing dangerous criminals, if you've got to release criminals, fine. But release burglars. Release fraudsters. Release people who have not paid their television licence. Under no circumstances should you ever release anyone who's committed a violent act. Preferably, don't release any of them, build another prison. But, I don't think people will be overly bothered. If some minor offender who was given 6 months gets out a little bit early. Annoyed, yes, but not scared. But, some lifer guilty of murder, a violent crime, should not be released. In my view, ever. But there we go. That's what happens, isn't it? This is what happens when you've got a government acting against the interests of its people and deliberately releasing criminals knowing full well that they will go on to commit more crimes and that people will die. How do we know people will die? I said it. I said you release these people, people will die. And there we go. Angry. Yes, but there's nothing I can do about it, is there? Except highlight it, which I have done. Thank you very much. You're a brilliant audience. Take care. Bye.